Have you ever had to learn something you thought you weren't supposed to know in the beginning? How many times, for example, have you had to go one level deeper than you planned while developing or programming? For example, you're using a library or a tool and everything is working until it doesn't. And you realize you're deep into reading the documentation and possibly even the source code itself of that library or tool to figure out a problem or a bug you faced. And this is not bad luck actually, it has a name, and the name is the Law of Leaky Abstraction. The Law of Leaky Abstraction was first coined by Joel Spolsky, who wrote about this back in 2002. And the idea is quite simple. All non-trivial abstractions to some degree leak. An abstraction is anything that hides complexity from you, right? For example, a function, a library, a framework, a programming language, even the internet itself. These are all abstractions, and all of it is built on layers of stuff you're not supposed to need to think about. And that's the point of it, right? That's good. We couldn't build anything if we had to think about everything at once. But Spolsky's observation is that the hiding is never complete. Eventually, the complexity underneath finds a way through. Think of it this way. Every abstraction is making you a promise, and the promise is, you don't need to know what's underneath me, just use me. And that promise holds most of the time. But it's not an unconditional promise, it's more like a good or a really good approximate. The moment something goes wrong, a timeout, a crash, unexpected behavior happens, this promise is broken, right? And suddenly, you do need to know what's underneath. The abstraction didn't fail exactly, it just wasn't fully honest about its limitations. Okay, so let me give you one real example. The one we all probably have ran into when we're starting out with programming and building projects and so on. ORMs, or Object Relational Mappers, right? If you use something like Django and etc., you know what these are. The pitch is you don't need to write SQL anymore yourself. Just work with objects, call save or call filter or many other methods that the ORM provides you, and the ORM itself will figure out the database stuff and the queries. And it works actually, it's genuinely a good abstraction, until you realize in production and that your dashboard is timing out. For example, your project is very laggy and you realize by logging that your app is making thousands or maybe hundreds of SQL queries to render one page. And it is actually a famous problem called the N+1 problem. It happens because when you write something like loop over posts or print the author name, the ORM is quietly going back to the database for every single author, one query per row. It totally looks fine in the code, it's invisible until your app is slow, right? And the fix is you need to understand SQL, you need to understand how joins work, you need to know the query the ORM is generating, and probably you need to also look up the docs to see what is a more efficient way to loop through your posts or authors or users, whatnot. So the abstraction is leaked, and now you're learning the thing it was supposed to mean you didn't have to learn in the first place. And here's another one with memory management, and it gets a bit lower level. So most modern languages use garbage collection, right? For example, Python or Java or Golang. The deal is you just create the objects and we'll clean up when you're done. And again, this is genuinely great. Manual memory management is hard and very error prone. The abstraction saves enormous amounts of time and bugs during development, but the garbage collector doesn't have infinite resources actually, right? It's still working with the actual physical memory on your machine. So you get the garbage collection pauses that freeze your app at the worst moment. You get heap fragmentation. You get an out-of-memory crash on a machine that should have had enough RAM. And suddenly you're reading about heap tuning and how the garbage collector decides what to collect, about the differences between young generation and old generation memory. Things you were not supposed to, or you never thought you are going to care about or read about. Now let's go through the final example real quickly. The internet is an abstraction, as stated earlier, and we already know. TCP is one protocol used in the internet stack, and it's the protocol that your computer uses to talk to servers, and it abstracts away a massive amount of chaotic physical reality underneath, because packets get lost, arrive out of order, and they take wildly different paths in the IP layer. And for example, in here you see that you write socket.send, and it makes the promise to you, right, that you just send the data and I'll handle the rest. TCP is known as a reliable data transfer protocol, and most of the time it does things correctly. But if your connection is flaky, or there's congestion, or maybe a firewall is silently dropping packets, your send fails, or it might even break forever. And now you're reading about TCP timeouts and keep alives. And again, here you are thinking about the things that you were supposed to not think about, or they were supposed to be invisible, in other words. Okay, so what's the actual takeaway here? I'm not saying don't use abstractions, that's insane. We'd be all writing assembly still if there were no abstractions. The point is to respect the layers. When something breaks, and it will, your instinct should be to go one level down. Like, what is this thing actually doing? What does it depend on? What's it hiding from me? A lot of developers I've talked to treat debugging as this mysterious thing. Like, either you figure it out or you don't. But usually it's just about being willing to follow the leak. Something's wrong at this layer, go deeper, check the library's source code or the documentation of it, and see where things have gone wrong. Usually the leak might just tell you where to look at, basically. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. The honest thing is that most of us learn this through the hard way. Usually in production, under pressure, and most times at a bad time. And that's fine actually. That's kind of how things go. But the developers who are really good to work with, the ones who are calm, don't panic, they usually have this magical gut feeling of knowing where to look at and where to debug, so that they can quickly fix things and get things back up and running. They have internalized this concept. That's the thing about them. They know the abstraction is a tool, not a guarantee. They've built up some understanding of the layers underneath. So when the leak actually happens, they're not lost. They know roughly where to start looking. And you don't need to be an expert at every layer, but understand that there are layers underneath your code, and they exist, and you should be willing to read about them when you have to, when it becomes necessary and you face a challenging bug, for example. So, all non-trivial abstractions leak, and it's just because that's a inherent part of software engineering. And don't fight it when something breaks and documentation stops helping you. That's possibly the leak itself. Don't fight it and just follow it and try to take a proactive approach. And I guess that's it, folks. If it was useful, tell me the worst abstraction that's leaked on you. And I'll see you on the next video.